Disney List time is here, and today we are talking to you about Disneyland Park, specifically Disneyland Resort, and more specifically, three things in particular that we are looking forward to at the Disneyland Resort in 2020. Here's the thing. Last week, we talked about Walt Disney World and what's going on in 2020, and they have substantially more things happening in this new year than Disneyland Resort does, but we don't necessarily have to talk about things that are going to be brand new because there isn't a whole lot coming. So things that we definitely look forward to in a calendar year that Disneyland Resort provides might just be helpful for you in your trip planning process. I say let's start with one right off the bat. Kurt, is there anything that you, sir, look forward to this coming year at Disneyland Resort?
I like the egg hunting thing. I know it's weird, but like every year, my wife and I, we grab those little papers, and you can do them at California Adventure, Downtown Disney, or the Disneyland Resort. And they have little eggs hidden everywhere of different characters, and you get little stickers, and you got to put them on your map and find them. I find it really fun. I don't know why. It's just, it adds extra stuff to do in the Disneyland Park, which I feel like there's not enough to do of already. So,
have you done that year after year? Is that something you've only done once?
Oh no, we do it every year. You get, when you turn in the map too, because you can buy as many as you want. You get little egg souvenirs too. So we have a whole row of them of egg souvenirs, and they have different characters every year. So it's fun. I enjoy it a lot.
And I feel like that's something that gets expanded every year. That they offer a little bit more and a little bit more, and it's free, right?
Oh no, you do have to pay.
Oh, how much? I don't even know. I've never done it.
It's not a lot. I think it's like
$8 or something.
Yeah, $8.
Oh, totally worth it then.
Yeah,
It's fun.
It's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Considering Disneyland now, it is not a lot of money.
And like you were saying too, like it's like a fun thing to do at a park that you've been to 1,000 times. Like It's a nice new thing to do. I enjoy doing it myself too.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Oh, awesome. Well, Tyler, that takes us to you. How about one on your list?
Well, I'm gonna go with an easy one. I'm on February 28th. The Magic Happens parade is starting. I'm excited for that. That's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to see the little Pua pig from Moana on there. Because let's be honest, everybody wanted to see more of Pua in that Moana movie. I mean, he was in the first 5 minutes, and then where did he go? Anyway, I'm excited to see more of Pua, and I'm excited to see the Coco float too.
I think that parade, it'll be a nice breath of fresh air, obviously, with Disneyland and just the resort as a whole. Both parks, obviously, they don't have a whole lot of room. And so while Walt Disney World can keep building and adding new things, Disneyland really has to refresh its entertainment a lot more to try and keep that interest there. And so I'm not complaining at all. I love that. And so it's great to know that a new parade is on its way, especially since Soundsational had kind of seen its tour of duty.
I love Soundsational, but it's time for something new. I agree with you. I'm ready for something new, and I hope that the song is good. I have been avoiding all. If there's anything out there, I haven't heard it. I've been avoiding it all. But the only thing that I'm a little bit disappointed about is that they are still talking so much about Frozen and Frozen 2. There's gonna be a Frozen 2 float, and I'm like. First they rammed the first movie down our throats, and now nobody people like the second movie, but it's kind of universally not considered as great as the first one.
It's the highest grossing animated film of all time, Tyler.
That doesn't mean anything.
This guy. Wow. Yeah, the numbers don't speak for themselves.
No, it's not that. It's I just because it has made more money, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a better film. I
totally agree with
that. It's made more money because it's a more well-known property at this point. That's the only reason it made more money. But
certainly, I think I'm most looking forward to because it's brand new. Obviously, the Avengers Campus coming to Disney California Adventure. Now, this is something that we've touched on in the past here, where I think we need to manage our expectations. I think we've discussed this a little bit already, that there's only one major attraction coming with it. And alongside that, a restaurant.
Major might be a stretch.
Yeah, one attraction, one experience, along with sort of a glorified sort of character meet and greet area, and then on top of that, a restaurant, and I think they're calling it a brewery, yeah?
Well, so this is what I'm confused about, because as I was trying to think of what I was excited about here, I had heard about this microbrewery, and that was one of the things that I was thinking of putting on my list. But as I started digging into things, it sounds like the microbrewery might be more of a rumor.
Oh, not yet confirmed. Huh?
Oh, I don't know. It's not because I think they're definitely going to be selling beer at this at the PIM Cafe.
Right.
I think they'll definitely have beer there, but will there be a separate kind of microbrewery area? I don't know yet. It does, and I haven't found any. Have you found any? I could be wrong.
From what I believe, I read it was a Disney Parks blog announcement, and obviously it happened a long time ago, but it had something to do with it being the microbrewery being obviously Pim and Ant-Man, right? Small, micro, yeah. And so it was a whole play on the idea.
So maybe it is part of the restaurant, and I just couldn't find. Anyway, I didn't mean to derail everything.
Well,
I
way
just,
to go.
I'm sorry.
Why don't you go on a rant about Frozen again? My God.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, D. I know it was well received, but no.
I'll tell you this though. Looking forward to the Avengers Campus. I think will be really cool to have a Spider-Man attraction. I hope that it lives up to. I mean, this is our first real big foot forward when it comes to an attraction opening that is Marvel built from the ground up, for Disney parks, domestically, I should say. And so, this is a big foot forward. If it doesn't end up being something awesome, if it doesn't end up being new technology or something really worth having a Marvel character, it's going to be so disappointing to so many fans.
Well, let me ask you something. Is it unfair of me to compare this upcoming attraction to the attraction at Islands of Adventure in Orlando? Because when I think about an amazing Spider-Man ride, I'm starting to believe that. Yeah, I know that was a pun. When I think of that, I think that it's going to be Islands of Adventure. I don't think that this California Adventure attraction will surpass it in coolness. To be honest with you,
interesting.
But I don't know that for a fact yet.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. But is it wrong of me to be disappointed at this new attraction if this old attraction that was built almost 20 years ago surpasses it?
No.
Okay,
no, not at
that's
all.
what
and I think that's my fear, is that this is not going to be anything remarkable.
Yeah.
And again, have this be the first real foot forward with Marvel at Disneyland, outside of the Tower of Terror being converted to the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. I'm talking about building it from the ground up, having something Marvel exclusive, to be something Spider-Man based, and to know that it's being created fresh. I think it's a fear a lot of people share.
Yeah, I hope it's a lot of fun. I hope that there's something in it that that surprises me, because it doesn't look that surprising. Is all I can say about it. For anybody that doesn't know, it's basically going to be a shooting gallery ride.
Right.
So we've seen those before, and this one, you're going to be doing little hand movements to sling
your
webs.
web.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It could be a lot of fun. I don't know though.
Yeah, no, I'm hesitant to put all my chips in the basket, but definitely something I'm looking forward to in 2020. What else is on your list, Tyler?
Okay, so the second one on my list here is the update to Snow White's Scary Adventure. I think that ride is a classic. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, I think. It's a great ride that just needed a little bit more show building. I really think that was kind of the problem with that ride, because it kind of ended really abruptly. And I think that if they keep it, I think that they need to keep it pretty similar to what it was, but remove maybe a couple of the kind of dungeony scenes and stuff, possibly. I don't know. And I would be really excited to go on this adventure again. I think that it is probably the weirdest ride in Disneyland if you think about it, because of it's the scariest, actually.
I'm sorry, we're watching Gared in a monitor wearing a mouse headband, and there he is. Yeah, he doesn't think he's a part of this segment, but we can see him. So
he's beautiful.
He's very distracting at times. Our Walt Disney World reporter, but get him out of here.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Sorry to derail.
No, it's all good.
Easily distracted.
But yeah, Snow White. I'm stoked for Snow White. I'm stoked to see. Obviously, when they did Alice in Wonderland and everything, the updates they made to that were pretty cool. They made that ride even better. Wade can't even focus on what I'm saying.
It's difficult. Yeah. I think you're right. It's going to be wonderful to have a reimagined Snow White, and you're absolutely right. As we discussed a couple weeks ago, how it just felt like, oh, it falls flat at the end because there's just someone screaming, and you're like,
wait, what just happened?
Someone dead?
Yeah.
What happened there?
I mean, they tried to telegraph that the witch got struck by lightning by having that like shadow behind her, but it was always so strange. It was like 1 minute she's like, "You want an apple?" and the next minute she's dead. So,
and we saw what happened with sort of the reimagination with like Alice in Wonderland and some of those more classic attractions where they had some upgrades added to them. Knowing that now has happened so many years ago, to imagine, oh my goodness, what could also be added to something like Snow White at this point? Very thrilling indeed.
I'm curious too if they'll like change the perspective on the ride a little bit, because in a lot of those rides you're supposed to be Snow White. Like you are that character. You can see her I think one time in the beginning of the ride, but other than that she's not anywhere else in the ride. And it was the same thing with Alice in Wonderland. When they did that update, they added some Alice figures to the ride to put her actually in the ride because she wasn't in it.
The star.
Because people would go on these rides and be like, the star of the movie's not even in this ride, and Walt Disney had to be like, you are the star, man. Like, anyway,
hard concept.
Yeah. So I'm curious if they're going to change the perspective a little bit, if they're going to put more Snow White in the ride, or or what they're going to do. But it'll be cool to see. It'll
be cool to see for sure, and to know that projection mapping has come so far in such a short amount of time as well. All kinds of stuff they can do to that attraction. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to Lunar New Year. It's happening here in just a couple days, as a matter of fact, for California Adventure. Lunar New Year, it's the year of the mouse. It's a big deal for 2020. And the reason why I like that celebration so much is it's short, and because of that and the time of year that it happens here at the beginning of the year, it's a time of year at Disneyland where things are relatively quiet. Now, granted, Rise of the Resistance is opening around the same time, and it's going to be very popular over in Disneyland, but I think California Adventure is going to be relatively quiet during this period, as it typically is, and that's something that, along with the added entertainment that comes with Lunar New Year, there's some very unique photo ops you can get, very unique entertainment that you can enjoy during the Lunar New Year celebration, and it expands a little bit more every year. They add some elements to it. Really looking forward to that, because it's one of those, it feels like a little bit more of an intimate celebration, and you don't really get that feeling at Disney parks anymore. The whole intimacy of any sort of entertainment or new or seasonal offering is kind of lost on, okay, and now here comes an extra 10,000 people because there's something going on. Lunar New Year doesn't seem to draw people the way other celebrations do. I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, no, I like Lunar New Year. It's great. It's a fun time, and they always have nice little treats all over the place. That I always get some pot stickers. Heck yeah!
Oh my gosh, Lunar it up.
I will.
Oh my,
I will.
Kurt, what about you? Anything on your list to share?
Well, I'm excited about the Disney After Dark festival stuff that's coming up. I think there's 4 of them. There's 4 different ones. There's the regular After Dark. There's the Pixar After Dark, the villains. And I want to say there's a Valentine's one in there somewhere too.
Yep.
Yeah. Sweethearts After Dark. There you go.
You gonna go to one or all?
I would like to go to one. I have yet to actually go to one, but I think I'm gonna do it this year.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they seem really fun, and I'm hoping that there would just be less crowded, since it is an additional fee to get into that, right? So
it's all about the photo ops, right?
It's about the photo ops.
Those are the lines.
If you want to not wait in lines, then don't do the photo ops, because that's the main thing. Is when I've gone to these things in the past, is like literally some of these lines will get to be like 45 minutes, an hour long, just for one photo. So. But if you want to do rides, it is a decent time to go.
Yeah, I mean, rides are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be cool. I think Disneyland not having a whole lot to offer this year after springtime, right? With the Avengers Campus coming on board, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot that's going to be happening just at all the rest of the calendar year unless something new gets announced all of a sudden. But this is definitely, I think, a great off year, and it's a leap year, to come visit Disneyland Resort. There seems to be sort of a calm before Walt Disney World's big 50th next year, and I'm sure we're going to have quite a few announcements that will come out of that, but it's nice to know that Disneyland, after so much growing in the last couple of years, is kind of gonna have a bit of a pause, and the reason why I like those sorts of things is because there's nothing really to draw extra crowds to the park other than maybe the parade, but again, after the springtime, not really a whole lot happening. And so I think this might be a really good year to book a Disneyland trip. And Tyler, what rounds out your list?
So the last thing for me, you were saying that you were excited for Lunar New Year over at California Adventure, and I'm excited for Food and Wine.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it is Lunar New Year, but bigger, without the intimacy. But not to boil it down like that. I mean, it's obviously a lot different culturally and everything, but it's just a good time. I don't know what to say about it. It's just every booth, has like one or two things that interest me, and it's just kind of a new experience that you get to go to an old place, kind of much like Kurt was talking about with his Easter egg. You get to go to an old place you're familiar with and have a new experience, and that's what's really fun to me about Food and Wine. Is they also have some nice entertainment too. So
yeah, always plussing that up too.
Yeah, it's just it has a good vibe that kind of keeps the place buzzing, and I like the fact too that I don't have to worry about like a parade coming through. Yeah. Because they don't do parades while they're doing these festivals, but
yeah, they've definitely
Food and Wine.
They definitely found a niche when it comes to these different festivals and pumping in the different food offerings. They know that it's a cash cow. Obviously, I mean, you see those lines every season that they do these, and it's become remarkably profitable, and definitely something that I know the Disney company looks forward to when it comes to their bottom line. But as long as the quality remains, it's still going to remain popular.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would say is that I know that they've been. I feel like they've been getting better and better as the years have kind of gone on here. But for the first couple years there, they were doing like, hey, here's two different types of macaroni and cheese, and there's a slider here and a slider over there, and it's like, okay, like you can't just put a different topping on your macaroni and cheese base and call it a different dish, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So as long as the quality keeps going, and that's what's really important. Like, I agree with you. Honestly, the first year that Food and Wine came back, they had this one like Wagyu. It was like shredded Wagyu beef on top of like polenta with like this little pea puree, and it was like $8, and it was friggin' amazing. And they never brought it back. And I just hope that one day I'll be able to taste that succulent beef once more.
I hope we got that audio crystal clear, because that sounds like a soundbite we're going to need to drop from now on whenever we're just...
Oh, definitely. We got it.
Okay. Oh,
Good.
excellent. All right.
Good.
Yeah. Just for fun, we're going to be dropping that soundbite a little bit more often now.
I'm so glad I said it.
Well, there you have it. A list of 3, plus a few more of some of the very best of what we're looking forward to here at the Disneyland Resort in 2020.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.